Day 124, Royal Kingdom, 2 Samuel 5, 1 Chronicles 7-8, Psalm 26. Let's begin. 2 Samuel 5. And all the tribes of Israel went to David in Hebron, saying, Behold, we are your bone and your flesh. Moreover, yesterday and the day before, when Saul was king over us, you were the one leading out and leading back Israel. Then the Lord said to you, You shall pasture my people Israel, and you shall be the leader over Israel. Also, the elders of Israel went to the king at Hebron, and King David struck a pact with them at Hebron in the sight of the Lord. And they anointed David as king over Israel. David was a son of 30 years, when he had begun to reign, and he reigned for 40 years. In Hebron, he reigned over Judah for 7 years and 6 months. Then in Jerusalem, he reigned for 33 years over all of Israel and Judah. And the king, and all the men who were with him, went away to Jerusalem, to the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land. And it was said to David by them, You shall not enter here, unless you will take away the blind and the lame, who say, David shall not enter here. But David seized the stronghold of Zion, the same is the city of David. For David had proposed, on that day, a reward to him who had struck the Jebusites, and who had reached to the gutters of the rooftops, and who had taken away the blind and the lame that hated the soul of David. Therefore, it is said in the proverb, The blind and the lame shall not enter into the temple. Then David lived in the stronghold, and he called it, the city of David. And he built it up on all sides, from Millo and inward. And he advanced, prospering and increasing, and the Lord, the God of hosts, was with him. Also Hiram, the king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, with cedar wood, and with builders of wood and builders of stone, in order to make walls. And they built a house for David. And David knew that the Lord had confirmed him as king over Israel, and that he had exalted his kingdom over his people Israel. Then David took more concubines and wives from Jerusalem, after he had arrived from Hebron. And other sons as well as daughters were born to David. And these are the names of those who were born to him in Jerusalem: Shammua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Solomon, and Abhar, and Elishua, and Nepheg, and Japhia, and Elishama, and Eliada, and Elipheleth. Then the Philistines heard that they had anointed David as king over Israel. And they all ascended, so that they might seek David. And when David had heard of it, he descended to a stronghold. Now the Philistines, arriving, spread themselves out in the valley of Rephaim. And David consulted the Lord, saying, Shall I ascend to the Philistines? And will you give them into my hand? And the Lord said to David, Ascend, for I will certainly give the Philistines into your hand. Therefore David went to Baal-perazim, and he struck them there. And he said, The Lord has divided my enemies before me, just as the waters are divided. Because of this, the name of that place was called Baal-perazim. And in that place they left behind their graven images, which David and his men took away. And the Philistines continued still, so that they ascended and spread themselves out in the valley of Rephaim. Then David consulted the Lord, Shall I ascend against the Philistines, and will you deliver them into my hands? And he responded, You shall not ascend against them. Instead, circle behind their back. And you shall come to them from the side opposite the balsam trees. And when you hear the sound of something going forth from the tops of the balsam trees, then you shall begin the battle. For then the Lord will go forth, before your face, so that he may strike the army of the Philistines. And so David did just as the Lord had instructed him. And he struck down the Philistines, from Gibeon until you arrive at Gezer. 1 Chronicles 7:8. Now the sons of Issachar were Tola and Puah, Jashub and Shimron, 4. The sons of Tola, Uzzi, and Rephaiah, and Jeriel, and Jamai, and Ibsam, and Shemuel, leaders according to the houses of their kindred. From the stock of Tola, there were numbered, in the days of David, 22,600 very strong men. The sons of Uzzi, Izrahiah, from whom were born Michael, and Obadiah, and Joel, and Ishiah, all 5 were leaders. And with them, by their families and peoples, there were 36,000 very strong men, girded for battle. And they had many wives and children. Also, their brothers, throughout all the kindred of Issachar, were numbered as 87,000, very fit for battle. The sons of Benjamin, Bela, and Becher, and Jediel, 3. The sons of Bela, Esbon, and Uzzi, and Uzziel, and Jerimoth, and Iri, 5 leaders of families, also very fit for battle, and their number was 22,034. Now the sons of Becher, Zemira, and Josh, and Eleazar, and Elioenai, and Omri, and Jerimoth, and Abijah, and Anathoth, and Ailmeth, all these were sons of Becher. And they were numbered according to their families, by the leaders of their kindred, very strong in warfare, 20,200. And the sons of Jediel, Bilhan, and the sons of Bilhan, Jush, and Benjamin, and Ehud, and Shenanah, and Zethan, and Tarshish, and Ahishahar. All these were sons of Jediel, the leaders of their kindred, very strong men, 17,200, going forth to battle. Also, Shuppim and Huppim, the sons of Ir, and Hushim, sons of Ahir. Then the sons of Naphtali, Jaziel, and Guni, and Jezer, and Shallum, sons of Bilhah. Also, the son of Manasseh, Asriel. And his concubine, a Syrian, bore Machir, the father of Gilead. Now Machir took wives for his sons, Huppim and Shuppim. And he had a sister named Maacah, but the name of the second was Zelophehad, and daughters were born to Zelophehad. And Maacah, the wife of Machir, bore a son, and she called his name Peresh. And the name of his brother was Sheresh. And his sons were Ulam and Racham. Then the son of Ulam, Bedan. These are the sons of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh. And his sister, Regina, bore Ishhad, and Abiezer, and Mala. Now the sons of Shemida were Ahian, and Shechem, and Lechi, and Aniam. And the sons of Ephraim, Shuthelah, bared his son, Tahath his son, Elida his son, Tahath his son, whose son was Zabad. And his son was Shuthelah, and his son was Ezer, and also Elid. But the men indigenous to Gath killed them, because they had descended to invade their possessions. And so their father, Ephraim, mourned for many days, and his brothers arrived, so that they might console him. And he entered to his wife, she conceived and bore a son. And he called his name Beriah, because he rose up during a time of evil for his house. Now his daughter was Shira, who built Lower and Upper Beth-horon, and also Uzzen-Shira. And Repha was his son, and Resheph, and Telah, from whom was born Tahan, who conceived Ladan. And his son was Ammihud, who conceived Elishama, from whom was born Nun, who had Joshua as a son. Now their possessions and habitations were Bethel with her daughters, and toward the east, Naran, and toward the western region, Gezer and her daughters, as well as Shechem with her daughters, as far as Aiah with her daughters. Also, beside the sons of Manasseh, Bethshean and her daughters, Tanakh and her daughters, Megiddo and her daughters, Dor and her daughters. In these places there lived the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel. The sons of Asher, Imnah, and Ishva, and Ishvi, and Beriah, and Sarah their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heber, and Malchiel, the same is the father of Berzath. Now Heber conceived Japhlet, and Shomer, and Hotham, and their sister Shua. The sons of Japhlet, Pasach, and Bimhal, and Ushvath, these are the sons of Japhlet. Then the sons of Shomer, Ahi, and Roga, and Jehubbah, and Aram. And the sons of Helem, his brother, Zophah, and Imnah, and Shelesh, and Amal. The sons of Zophah, Sua, Harnepher, and Shul, and Beri, and Imrah. Beza, and Had, and Shammah, and Shilsha, and Ithran, and Bera. The sons of Jether, Jephunneh, and Pispa, and Era. Then the sons of Ulla, Ara, and Haniel, and Rizia. All these were sons of Asher, the leaders of families, elect and very strong rulers among rulers. And the number of those who were of an age that was fit for warfare was 26,000. Now Benjamin conceived Bela as his firstborn, Ashbel the second, Ahara the third, Noah the fourth, and Rapha the fifth. And the sons of Bela were Adar, and Gera, and Abihud, as well as Abishua, and Naaman, and Ahoah. Then also Gera, and Shepaphan, and Hiram. These are the sons of Ehud, leaders of the kindred living in Geba, who were moved away to Manhath. And Naaman, and Ahijah, and Gera, he also moved them away, and he conceived Uzzah and Ahihud. Then Shaharaim conceived, in the region of Moab, after he sent away Husham and Bara, his wives. And so, of his wife Hodesh, he conceived Jobib, and Zibiah, and Mesha, and Malcham. And also Juz and Sakiah, and Mirma. These were his sons, the leaders of their families. Truly, of Husham he conceived Abitub and Elpal. And the sons of Elpal were Eber, and Mizham, and Shemd, who built Ono and Lod and its daughters. Now Beriah and Shema were leaders of their families living in Aijalon. These put to flight the inhabitants of Gath. And Ahio, and Shashak, and Jerimoth. And Zebediah, and Arad, and Eder. As well as Michael, and Ishpa, and Joha, were the sons of Beriah. Then Zebediah, and Meshullam, and Hizki, and Heber. And Ishmerai, and Isliah, and Jobib were the sons of Elpal. Then Jachim, and Zichri, and Zabdi. And Elionai, and Zilithai, and Eliel. And Adaiah, and Beriah, and Shimrath were the sons of Shimi. Then Ishpan, and Eber, and Eliel. And Abdon, and Zichri, and Hanan. And Hananiah, and Elam, and Anthothijah. And Ifdiah, and Penuel were the sons of Shashak. Then Shamsherai, and Shehariah, and Athaliah. And Jerushiah, and Elijah, and Zichri were the sons of Jeraham. These were the patriarchs and leaders of the families who were living in Jerusalem. Now in Gibeon, there lived Jeiel, the father of Gibeon, and the name of his wife was Maachah. And his firstborn son was Abdon, and then Zur, and Kish, and Baal, and Nadab. And Geder, and Ahio, and Zechar, and Mikloth. And Mikloth conceived Shemiah. And they lived opposite their brothers in Jerusalem, with their brothers. Now Anna conceived Kish, and Kish conceived Saul. Then Saul conceived Jonathan, and Malchishua, and Abinadab, and Eshbal. And the son of Jonathan was Meribel, and Meribel conceived Micah. The sons of Micah were Pithon, and Melech, and Teriah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz conceived Jehoda. And Jehoda conceived Aelneth, and Asmaveth, and Zimri. And Zimri conceived Moza. And Moza conceived Bineah, whose son was Rapha, of whom was born Elisa, who conceived Azel. Now there were 6 sons for Azel, whose names were Azrikam, Bacheru, Ishmael, Sheariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. All these were the sons of Azel. Then the sons of Eshek, his brother, were Ulam the firstborn, and Jush the second, and Eliphalet the third. And the sons of Ulam were very robust men, drawing the bow with great strength. And they had many sons and grandsons, even to 150. All these were sons of Benjamin. Psalm 26. A psalm of David before he was sealed. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the protector of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? Meanwhile, the guilty draw near to me, so as to eat my flesh. Those who trouble me, my enemies, have themselves been weakened and have fallen. If entrenched armies were to stand together against me, my heart would not fear. If a battle were to rise up against me, I would have hope in this. One thing I have asked of the Lord, this I will seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, so that I may behold the delight of the Lord, and may visit his temple. For he has hidden me in his tabernacle. In the day of evils he has protected me in the hidden place of his tabernacle. He has exalted me upon the rock, and now he has exalted my head above my enemies. I have circled around and offered a sacrifice of loud exclamation in his tabernacle. I will sing, and I will compose a psalm, to the Lord. Hear my voice, O Lord, with which I have cried out to you. Have mercy on me, and hear me. My heart has spoken to you, my face has sought you. I yearn for your face, O Lord. Do not turn your face away from me. In your wrath, do not turn aside from your servant. Be my helper. Do not abandon me, and do not despise me, O God, my Savior. For my father and my mother have left me behind, but the Lord has taken me up. O Lord, establish a law for me in your way, and direct me in the right path, because of my enemies. Do not surrender me to the souls of those who trouble me. For unjust witnesses have risen up against me, and iniquity has lied to itself. I believe that I shall see the good things of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord, act manfully, and let your heart be strengthened, and remain with the Lord.